Hello my dear students, welcome to Teacher at Home. Today class we are going to learn the fourth chapter, Landscape Analysis through Maps. The British realized that they could attain a certain power and collect the taxes in the colonies only if they clearly understood the special geographical features of each of them. This made them decide to conduct various surveys and prepare maps on their basis. Accordingly, three surveys, namely the Tag Survey, the Topographic Survey, Trigonometric Survey, were carried out by East India Company in the Indian subcontinent. These surveys they were begun to the stewardship of Colonel William Lamberton in 1802, which took more than 50 years to be completed, were very accurate. Several Indians were part of the surveys conducted through difficult terrains, hostile climate, carrying heavy metallic survey instrument called theodolite, which weighed half a ton. The surveys incurred immense expenditure and took a toll on many. Colonel George Everest joined in as assistant at Lamberton in 1880. This was the first survey that recorded the correct measurements of the Himalayan mountain ranges. As a tribute to George Everest, who took up the survey as Lamberton's successor, highest peak in the Himalayan mountain ranges was named as Mount Everest. First, topographic maps on the Indian subcontinent were prepared after the completion of the survey in 1854. Haven't you read the above description? Finding the precise location of the Earth's surface features is essential for the preparation of maps. Each part of the Earth is measured with the help of the survey instruments, and maps are prepared on these measurements. What are the features on the topographic maps? How does this differ from other maps? Let's look into these aspects. Topographic map. We have learned that large-scale maps are prepared by incorporating minute details of relatively smaller areas. Topographic maps depict in minute detail all the natural and man-made features on the Earth's surface. These maps contain the important features, surface features such as undulations of the rivers, other water bodies, forests, agriculture land, barren land, villages, towns and transport and telecommunication system. Okay, in India, topography. The English term topography is derived from the Greek terms topo and graphy, which means place and to write to draw. Respectively, topographic maps are also known as topo sheets. In India, the preparation of topographic maps is entrusted to a central government agency named Survey of India. Certain restrictions had been imposed on the use of topographic maps of strategic regions owing to the national security concerns. Uses of topographic maps. Topographic maps are used for various purposes. Let's see what they are. Analysis of the physical and cultural features of the Earth's surface, for military operations and the preparation of military maps, identification and studying of the natural and cultural resources of the region as part of economic planning, for urban planning. Topographic map can be read only through proper training and practical experiences. A thorough knowledge of the numbering scheme, locational aspects, the conventional signs and symbols, the elevation and slope of the terrain, and the methods of their representation, very similar, very essential for comprehending topographic maps. Layout and numbering of topo sheets. Survey of India. The official agency responsible for the preparation of topographic maps in our country is the Survey of India with its headquarters at Dehradun. In India, the topographic maps are prepared in scale. That is 1 is to 10 lakh, 1 is to 2,50,000, 1 is to 50,000, 1 is to 25,000. For various purposes, Survey of India made topographical maps for all places in India. Topographic maps prepared in India are generally known as Survey of India maps. The number of topo sheet denotes the area it represents. For example, the number of given topo sheet is 45D/10. This number denotes certain parts of Gujarat and Rajasthan. Similarly, unique numbers are given to topo sheets covering different regions. Let's see how these numbers are obtained. Topo sheets for the whole world have been prepared in several sheets of same size and shape. The whole world is picturized In 2222 sheets as follows. There are 1800 sheets for regions between 60° north and south latitudes, 420 sheets for regions between 60° and 88° latitude in both hemispheres, and 2 sheets for both the poles. Analyze the given description and figures, and understand the numbering and order of the topo sheets in presenting India. The numbering of India's topo sheets are done on the basis of the India and adjoining countries map series. As each of the maps in the series is a 1:10 lakh scale, they are known as million sheets. The million sheets covering 4° latitude and 4° longitudinal extent are given numbers from 1 to 105. These numbers are known as index numbers. Look at each of the sheets in the category is divided into 16 parts, known as the degree sheets. Each million sheet is divided into 16 parts in the order ABCD up to P. For example, the million sheet covered numbered 55, it is divided into 16 parts as 55A, 55B, 55C. Each of the sheets with 1° longitudinal and latitudinal extent is prepared in 1:25, 2,50,000 scale. The degree sheets are further divided into 16 equal parts. Each degree sheet has 15 bar 15 minutes latitudinal and longitudinal extent and numbered as 1, 2, 3 up to 16. For example, 55, 55D by 2, 55D by 3 up to 55D by 16. The sheets are prepared in 1:50,000 scale. The parts of the states that are included in topo sheet number 45, the index number of topo sheets which cover the state of Odisha. The states that are included in topo sheet number 73, the index number of topo sheets which cover the state of Karnataka. The index sheet of topo sheets which cover Kerala. Now you might have understood the layout and numbering of topo sheets. Let's take a look at how the surface features of the earth are represented in these maps. Conventional signs and symbols. You have learned in previous classes that various features of the earth's surface are represented in topographic maps using different colors and symbols. As the colors and symbols used in the topo sheets are internationally accepted, maps prepared in our country can be easily understood and analyzed by the people of another. Contains the conventional signs and symbols used in topo sheets. Signs and symbols: road, methylated road, boundary, international boundary, unmethylated road, state boundary, footpath, district boundary, car track, taluk boundary. Railway, railway broad gauge, water body stream, railway with a station, river, railway meter gauge, tidal river, level crossing, spring well, railway with a bridge, tube well. Symbols and signs. Geographic features: vegetation, grass, palms, coniferous trees, bamboo, dense forest, reserve forest. Dispensary, lighthouse, health center, airport. Settlement: permanent house, temporary house, clustered settlements, dispersed settlement, linear settlements. Post office, telegraph office, post and telegraph office, police station, inspection bungalow and rest house. Monuments and buildings: fort, temple, church, mosque, tomb and grave. Contour lines, form lines, spot height, triangulated height and benchmark. Feature: color. Representing elevation. Elevation or height is represented in topo sheet using contour lines, form lines, spot height, triangulated height and benchmark. Contour lines. Contour lines are imaginary lines joining places having the same elevation above the sea level. Form lines. When it is difficult to measure the elevation of places through land surveys due to rugged terrain, the elevation is represented with the help of broken lines. These are forms lines. Spot height. Spot height represents the actual height of a plate by recording the height in digits beside a black dot. Sometimes the height alone is recorded without the black dot. Triangulated height. Height of places estimated through trigonometric surveys are recorded in maps using triangle symbol. Benchmark. The height of reservoirs and prominent buildings are recorded along with the letters BM. You are now familiar with the conventional signs and symbols in topo sheets. Let us see how the location of places is identified in these maps. Grid reference. You know that places are located on maps and globe with the help of latitude and longitude. But it is difficult to show the precise location of minor geographical features in topo sheets, which are large-scale maps. To solve this difficulty, north-south, west, east-west lines in red and incorporated in the topo sheets. The north-south lines are called eastings and the east-west lines are called northings. Value of these lines would also be recorded approximately. Analyze the figures and the description to understand the salient features of eastings and northings. These are north-south lines. Their value increases towards the east. The value of the eastings immediately left to the geographic features is considered for identifying location. These are lines drawn in the east-west direction. Their value increases towards the north. The value of the northings immediately to the south of the feature in the map is considered for identifying a location. The grid formed jointly by the eastings and the northings are called reference grids. That is in 1:50,000 topo sheets, each grid with 2 cm width, 2 cm breadth, covers an area with 1 km length and 1 km breadth on the Earth's surface. Let's see how feature can be located in topo sheets using these grids. Look at the model grid given below. Don't you see the symbols of some geographic features in the grid? It is their location we need to find. The sizes of the geographic features included in the model grid are not one and the same. Since they differ in size, the location of the features can be found out in two different ways, namely 4-figure grid reference and 6-figure grid reference. 4-figure grid reference. Look at the grid with a lake in. Let's examine how the lake can be located. In the 4-figure grid reference method, the value of the easting to the immediate left of the feature is to be written. Then the value of the northing just south of the feature is to be written. Thus the location of the lake as per the 4-figure grid reference will be 4218. 6-figure grid reference. Relatively small geographic features are generally located through the 6-figure grid reference method. Look at the given grids depicting a tube well. Let's examine how the tube well can be located. While determining the location of the tube well, the value of the easting to the left of it is to be written first. Then divide the area up to the next easting into 10 equal parts as shown in figure. Find the exact division on which the tube well is located and write it next to the value of easting already found. Now write the value of the northing just below the tube well along the easting's value. Divide the area up to the next northing as being divided into 10 equal parts. Find the exact division on which the tube well is located. Write it with the values already written. What is obtained is the extra 6 grid reference to the given tube well. Now you have understood how to determine the location of the features in topographic maps. Let's see how the shape of the terrain is assessed. Contour lines. Observe the pictures given. These are the pictures of contour lines and shape of the landforms they represent. Contour are imaginary lines drawn on maps connecting those places having equal elevation from the sea level. A contour line, it joins points of equal elevation above a given level, such as mean sea level. The respective altitude will be marked with each contour line. These are called contour values. With the help of contour values, we can find out the altitude of the places shown in maps. Two different landforms and their contour representation are given. What are the landforms you can identify in these pictures? Don't you see the value difference between contours will always be equal. The difference between the value of two adjacent contours is called contour interval. For example, contour interval, it is 100 meters. You might have noticed that in the given picture, the contours are closely spaced at certain places and farthest apart elsewhere. The closely spaced contours represent steep slopes and the widely spaced contours represent gentle slopes. Following three things can be assessed from the contour lines in the topographic maps: altitude of the place, nature of the slope, shape of the landform. Contour interval. The contour interval of topo sheets, it is 1:50,000 scale, is generally 20 meters. By analyzing the values of the contours, the altitude of places represented in the map can be found out. To understand the relief of elevated landforms, Contours with 100-meter level are used. Altitude, nature of the slope, shape of the landform. Let's see how the shape of landforms are determined using contour lines. This can be done using two methods. Assessing the topography. Method 1, directly from the contours. As shown in figure 4.15, place a paper strip across the contour pattern of which the topography is to be assessed. Mark A and B at either ends of the paper strip. Mark and label values of the contour lines cutting across the paper strip. Transfer these contour values on the x-axis of the graph paper. Now choose a convenient scale and mark the contour values on the y-axis. Draw vertical lines from the points of contour values on the x-axis. Intersect these vertical lines against the corresponding values in y-axis and mark the intersecting points. Join these points by smooth curves. Shade the area using a pencil. Thus we get the shape of the landform represented by the contour lines. Method 2. By tracing out the contour lines. Copy the contour lines on a tracing paper and transfer them into another paper. Draw a line AB through the center of the contours as shown. Draw the XY axis below the line AB as shown in the figure 4.19. Mark the values on the contours on both y-axis in an appropriate scale. Join equal values of both the x-axis and y-axis using narrow lines. Draw vertical lines from the points where contours cut across AB. Mark the points at which the vertical lines intersect the horizontal lines. Join the points with the smooth curves and shade the area using the pencil. Thus we get the shape of the landform represented by the contours. Now you might have understood the methods of plotting the topography from contour lines. Let's examine how the visibility between two places is determined. Intervisibility. As part of topographical map interpretation, there arises a need to find out whether two places are intervisible. This can be solved only by finding out the relief as well as the slope of the region. If any two places are mutually visible, then we can establish that these places are intervisible. Intervisibility assessment is being applied for erecting electric posts, mobile towers and wireless transmission towers. Look at, you can see the points marked as P, Q, R and S between the contours. Can you identify the points which are intervisible? For assessing the intervisibility, the shape of the terrain must be inferred from the contour lines. The given picture represents the shape of the landform inferred from the contour lines. By analyzing the picture, we can assess the intervisibility between places. Let's examine how the toposheet can be interpreted based on the basic knowledge you have acquired so far. Toposheet interpretation. You might have noticed that some basic information regarding the sheet as well as the physical and cultural features pertaining to the area represented are given in the toposheet. The study and interpretation of such maps can be done in different stages as mentioned below. Marginal information, primary information, physical and natural features, cultural and man-made features. Marginal information. The general information given outside the margin in the topographic maps is known as the marginal or primary information. The toposheet number, name of the area, latitude and longitude, values of northings and eastings, scale on the map, contour interval, years of survey and publication, and the agency in charge of the survey are the marginal information of the toposheet. Toposheet number A, name of the place represented B, latitudinal location C1, C2, longitudinal location D1, D2, easting E1, E2, northing F1, F2, scale of the map G, contour interval H, year of survey I, year of publication J, agency in change of survey K. Physical features. Water bodies such as rivers, streams, springs, etc., as well as different landforms are the physical features in topographic maps. Locations are to be found by directions or the grid reference method. Cultural features. Settlement, different types of roads, boundaries, places of worship, agricultural lands, post office, police station, bridges, wells and tube wells are a few cultural features as shown in the toposheets. The location can be found based on directions of the grid reference method. Okay, so that's all about this chapter. If you are interested, please do like, share and subscribe my channel. Okay, thank you.